Still on the strike, businesses affected by the strike say they don't know how much longer they can hold out. Companies, specifically those that are port-focused, are bleeding money as the strike derails operations. It's 1 week since over 4,000 workers downed tools at Transnet rail and ports across the country. eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli reports.
Businesses from across a spectrum of sectors continue to be lashed by the Transnet strike. The trucking industry in Durban has had to tell workers to remain at home for now due to the suspension of the movement of goods at the country's ports. All land operations have been paused due to staff shortages. Businesses say the strike is doing massive damage to their bottom lines.
Many of them, actually all of them, actually sitting at the offices doing nothing. They've got no income. Their drivers have been put off because there's no work. I won't say they're laid off, they've just been put off from work. They're actually sitting at home doing nothing. So they're earning no income as well. Transnet has issued a force majeure, meaning a ripple effect. We also claim a force majeure on our side as well, because it's something we can control or something that we created.
Those in the trucking sector say the strike is contributing to major backlogs. They worry this might lead to customers turning to other countries.
They've implemented a lot of stats in applying a worldwide recognized booking system 2 years ago, but unfortunately it's not working the way it's supposed to work. We do like the system, right? It can work for a lot of people, and it has worked for us. You know, we've done good work with it, but unfortunately it's also controlled by a human sitting behind a computer, right? And it's not what it's supposed to be, working at its optimum level, and it all boils down to the inefficiencies internally in transport, on the wharf side there, and landside operations.
It's not only the transport sector that's feeling the pressure. Small businesses are also casualties as the strike drags on. eNCA Marine Services specializes in underwater hull cleaning and says it struggled with fewer bookings since the strike began.
What we are seeing now is that we are seeing a lot less inquiries because they could go to other ports. They could go to Mauritius, they could go to Mozambique and get the services. So the current strike says to them they would rather go to where it's not there is no strike. So we are seeing inquiries drop. And obviously from inquiries, that's your potential pool of customers, and once that drops, your revenue comes down. Remember, we just came back from COVID, where there were major closures. So businesses at this stage, especially the small businesses like ours, are still trying to recover. So this particular industrial action is really going to affect us, and we are already starting to see it.
Meanwhile, big business is stepping in to try and end the strike.
We can ill afford the strike. So we continue to engage with Transnet. We've offered Transnet a confirmatory affidavit in the courts when they try to interdict. And more importantly, we've offered as a sector to pay a little bit more towards the levy so that Transnet can afford the cost of increasing wages, so workers can get a decent, somewhere near inflation increase.
Meanwhile, talks continue as neither side seems willing to budge. Lethiwe Mdluli, Durban.